ahead, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Mauricio. I represent a TNC. I'm not here on behalf of a taxi company or a limousine company. I represent a TNC. Actually, it happens to be the TNC that was turned down by the county back in May when we wanted to partake on the TOA that was implemented with Uber. We kind of saw the writing on the wall about a couple of weeks ago. We kind of knew this was going to happen. So as a TNC, my company made a very clear proposal as to what the terms of the new TOA should be. The TOA proposal for the new terms should be obeying for insurance as a state law, background checks, either like Rick said, performed by the county on a one-on-one basis with level 1, or embracing technology. The county is kind of contradicting itself, saying we need to embrace the new technology, the application, and so forth and so on, but at the same time is negating the beauty of biometrics.
You gotta stay on topic. Do we want to extend or not?
I think that we need to extend it under the terms that we put on the proposal that we sent to each one of you guys, that I went to your office to explain to everyone in this room except Commissioner Evans, who rejected my offer for a meeting. But the terms are right there. Yeah, it needs to be extended with new requirements, insurance by the state, background checks by the county, or level 2 background checks, and that's it.
Thank you.
And I have a question for the county attorney. I had somebody come into my office yesterday and assume that if we extended the temporary operating agreement, it only applied to Uber. Can you clarify that it would apply to any transportation network company that operates?
The TOA that we have in effect is only with Uber. It is an agreement that was worked out with Uber. If there, at the time, and Eugene could correct me if I'm wrong, or anybody at the table, at the time we didn't have a presence of another TNC. And so if Lyft is here, it would be the same, or anybody else who provides TNC if the board's pleasure was to do that. But that's the only operator that we're aware of, and it is an agreement between two parties.
I have one more question, but it just escaped my mind, so...
Okay, we'll come back if you remember. So Tappxi that came in and said that they do level 2 background checks, but they are a vehicle for hire, could be included in this?
I just received that email with the information that was sent around. I don't really know what that really is. I think we need some more time to look at that. I could not answer with any certainty. It looks like someone's trying to be a clearinghouse for the different entities. And I know there's a couple of, I saw a couple of options in the email that I saw, and I don't really.
Well, I've spoken to the person, and they actually have cars, and they actually drive, and they do what Uber does, but they do background checks, and they also do have insurance. So I mean, we would have more than one group, and you're saying that we could include them if we wanted to.
What I'm saying is that if there's if they are a TNC by definition, as we've defined it, they can come, I'm assuming, to Consumer Affairs to talk to them about it. I know that they did that, but Consumer Affairs was correct in saying their ordinance that they regulate doesn't have that information in there. But if that's the board's pleasure, as long as they meet the definition, negotiate agreements.
Commissioner Abrams. Ms. Baker.
This is to follow up on the remaining TNCs that we do not have an agreement with, and that is to for them to possibly go over to our Consumer Affairs Department, and we mirror the agreement we have with Uber to bring back to the board, so that we have some document, I think, authorizing it, because if we don't do anything today, our old ordinance is still in effect, and therefore we really don't have any agreement with the other remaining TNCs. So I just want to get direction from the board that staff could meet with the others that we don't have a direct agreement with, bring those agreements back to you on October 6th for approval. That would be very similar to what we have with Uber.
We have to bring it back if we just give direction to include?
That's fine.
You need to approve those specifically, and can I,
yes.
As far as this agreement, I would not tweak any other, extending the term is one thing that I still, But with the state legislative action that's required for the insurance, I understand that. But if we start changing any other terms and conditions, that TOA is the subject of the lawsuit. Another thing too, you can make a motion and it can be passed, but we have to ask the person that we're in, have the agreement with, is Uber willing to sign? It's the meeting of two minds, so we can, I don't know if anyone wants to make a comment. I mean, you can make a motion and then we go to them to extend the term and they might not agree to it, I'm not sure. Just so you know that it's just not this action that extends it, we need an agreement by the other party.
It came back to me. Uber has been under the TOA required to participate in an audit. Have they done so cooperatively?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But the other question I have is, I've heard that they haven't been forthcoming with this audit, so, Eugene?
I don't have any information.
What have they given us?
With regards to the audit of the TOA, we were able to conduct a check from a sample that was provided by them. So it was self-reported information, and
Which is always definitely reliable.
but in accordance with the TOA, that's what we were limited on asking for the information.
YSI was self-reported also in its leaving. Just saying. Self-reporting. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Commissioners, my name is John Kamal with Yellow Cab in Broward County. I oppose the continuation of the TOA, but I would suggest to the Commission that they need to look at the audit report that you got from staff, because unlike the representation that was made that you got the information you needed, I've lived in a regulated environment and have been subjected to audits, and also have had to give audit opinions as an attorney. And usually when you do an audit, you get information that you can verify from independent sources. So what I'm looking at is what Stephanie signed, which indicates that Uber didn't give you the names of drivers or any identifying information, but instead they gave you driver numbers and corresponding information without any information in there that you could verify. And then a second batch, which I find even more interesting, is this. We were not able to verify that a background check was completed and approved on the second batch because Razor would not provide background check information associated with any of their driver names. If you're going to continue the TOA, don't let the audit be a joke. You all have a responsibility to make sure that when you get something from somebody who's representing to you that they're doing what you've asked them to do, that you're able to independently verify it. This audit is a joke, and I've gotten the audit materials. You had no information. There's no way in the world that you can verify the information that was given to you by Razor as being accurate or otherwise. And in fact, when you ask for a second group of information, they refuse to give it under some false representation that it violated some type of standard. Don't let it be a joke if you do continue it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bruce,
Madam Mayor, I have a question.
Commissioner McKinley. Sorry, I think you might have who's the question for?
The question actually, well, it relates to what John just said, and I want to know from the county attorney. Remind me again, please, what the options are we have for termination of the temporary operating agreement if they don't comply.
We just have to give sufficient notice. I don't have it in front of me. I think it's 30-day notice. 30. Does that? Yeah, just notice to the other party.
So if they don't comply with the next audit, they have 30 days till we can terminate the temporary operating agreement.
My understanding was that they really didn't, we didn't really get good information from this audit. So, I'm skeptical about the audit, but.
Waiting until first of all, I think we can still await legislative action. I agree. I think we all agree that it would be nice if the legislature addressed some of these issues that are regional, if not statewide in nature, particularly with the insurance. And we can still await that disposition from them, but we don't know if they will or not. This is a legislature that hasn't passed a budget, that hasn't passed congressional redistricting, which are major issues for them, and as this will be, and has not been able to move it forward. We have, some litigation, shall we say, pending, right? And I don't know how this affect, the duration of the extension affects that. My gut reaction would be that it would, that the least duration of the extension would be more beneficial for the county in that case. Madam County Attorney.
I'm going to give you a standard response. I don't discuss our litigation at the public meetings. It could have an impact for sure. I mean, sooner is better to put us in the best position, but.
And I guess if we say for the record, first of all, regardless of how long we extend, we're extending because the clarity, particularly on the insurance provision, has to come from the state.
And that's helpful. That's a helpful comment for that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rick Versace, Florida Limousine Association. I object to the idea of postponing this to the end of the legislative session. And let me tell you why. 6 months ago, when this commission first met, you said that you were going to give till September 30th to get all of these issues straightened out under the threat of pursuing an injunction to stop them from operating, because there are a lot of concerns, as there still are today. So by kicking this thing down the road even further without bringing it to a head, I think we're putting the public in a tremendous amount of jeopardy. Commissioner Abrams brings out that, we only started doing the level 2 in February. That's true, but the difference is that the level 1 check that we used to do here in Palm Beach County had the applicant standing right in front of a county employee, checking all his ID right there. Almost as good as a fingerprint background check. It wasn't some guy sitting on his couch at home putting his information or someone's information into an app. The public safety of our residents is the highest concern, and by allowing this to go on even longer is a travesty of justice. Not only that, it's not fair that they're given such an extreme advantage over the current industry that's following all the rules and paying all the fees and doing the level 2 and doing all the right things as we have done for years. It's time for you to tell them, do it right, do it now, or stop. In Broward County, you saw what happened. They asked for this, they got it. Then they didn't turn on the app. They asked for that, they still didn't turn on the app. Now you know what the sticking point is? They want felons to be able to drive. That's the sticking point. Are they so desperate for drivers that they have to allow felons to drive? Where's the sense of public safety that you're only going to allow good people to come into work and to pick up the residents of our county? Please, Commissioners, if you must extend for another 30 days and come back and deal with this thing as quickly as possible. Thank you.